you're watching Plain Speak with me, Akanksha Swaroop. With the controversy surrounding the Laddoos served as prasadam at Tirupati temple turning into a political storm in Andhra Pradesh, YSRCP chief and former Andhra Chief Minister Jagan Reddy has claimed that the ghee adulteration allegations were an attempt to divert attention from Chandrababu Naidu's 100 days of rule in the state. He has also termed the adulteration allegations as atrocious. Jagan Reddy has in fact posed the question, is it fair to play with the sentiments of crores of devotees across the world? It should be noted that in a press conference today, the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanams have said that the ghee suppliers to the temple body took advantage of the lack of in-house adulteration testing facility and are also not making use of outside facilities. Interestingly, the matter has also reached the Supreme Court with a petition claiming that the Tirupati incident is symptomatic of a larger systemic issue in temple administration and has called for dedicated and culturally sensitive management of temples. It highlights several judgments of the Supreme Court that have emphasized the importance of protecting essential religious practices. Given that the TTD today has highlighted the absence of an in-house testing lab for adulteration, the question is, why is it that opposition ruled states treat Hindu Astha in the most lackadaisical manner? Be it halal certified jaggery packets used for prasadam in Sabrimala or Mamata Banerjee's government restricting Durga Puja immersion for the sake of Muharram, why is Hindu Astha consistently disrespected? Now, Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanams Board or the TTD board has alleged that there were violations by previous administration, and they've also made startling allegations. They've been made by the executive officer of the TTD. The samples sent for testing were highly adulterated. That's the first claim that's been made. They've also added that though the sample appeared to be ghee, the test results indicated that it was not. Remember, there's lard also found in them along with beef tallow and fish oil. Temple Trust Board has said that the suppliers took advantage of the lack of testing facilities within the temple administration. He said once the test lab proved use of animal fat, they immediately stopped the supplies and also initiated the blacklisting procedure of the supply company, adding that legal and penal processes are also underway. Temple Trust Board has also highlighted clear violations by previous administration. At the same time, Jagan Mohan Reddy has rejected all these allegations levelled, claiming that this is nothing but a diversionary tactic by Chandrababu Naidu's government to hide its own failures. But can Jagan really escape the scrutiny? Here's why we are asking that question. The lab test confirms use of beef, fish oil in Tirumala Prasad. Former Temple Trust has alleged that the size of the laddu was reduced during Jagan's tenure. A notice has been served to Jagan's uncle and former Temple Trust head YV Subba Reddy over allegations of fund diversion from the Temple Trust. The allegations include misuse of 500 crore rupees. A political fight has already erupted over Jagan Mohan Reddy's uncle being appointed as the chairperson of the TTD Trust Board back in the year 2019. His religious credentials were questioned as well. The Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam came in for criticism from various quarters over the popping up of Christian prayers on a link to its official website. And that is why the question we are posing to our guests today, is there a deliberate bid to hurt the Hindu Astha?
उस जो रिपोर्ट है जिस सोर्स से आई है, उस रिपोर्ट को पूरी तहकीकात करके उसके सारे पहलुओं को ध्यान में रख करके सूटेबल एक्शन विल बी टेकन.
We are demanding a CBI inquiry into this issue because it is not a small issue. It does not pertain to a small group of people but to crores of people.
The report says two things. One is that it is adulterated with vegetable fats, and another is it is adulterated with animal fats.
I brought it to the attention of the previous executive officer and previous chairman of the trust board. There were two chairmen. There were two executive officers. About the fall in the quality of Laddoos, the taste and sanctity of the Laddoos.
3 రిపోర్ట్స్ మళ్ళీ పాస్ అయితేనే ఇవి వాడకంలోకి తీసుకొని వస్తారు.
Right, and with that, let me introduce our esteemed panelists today. I'm joined in by Mr. K. Pattabhiram, who's the national spokesperson for the TDP, Mr. Ravi Chandra Reddy, who's a spokesperson for the YSRCP, Mr. Kartik Chopra, who's also the spokesperson for the Nirmohi Akhada, and Dr. P. Pulla Rao, who's a senior journalist. Many thanks to you, gentlemen, for joining in. In fact, Mr. Reddy, my first question naturally to you is going to be, knowing that there's always been a charge of the YSRCP being anti-Hindu, why weren't you doubly cautious in ensuring the quality of the laddus and that the ghee remains unadulterated, especially when questions were already being raised that it was YS Jagan Mohan Reddy's uncle who was heading the TTD?
Good evening to all. Good evening to you, madam. And I want to specify who actually want to destroy Hindu Astha and the sentiments of Hindu devotees. None other than Chandrababu Naidu. And he want to attribute the same to YS Jagan Mohan Reddy. Why? He follows...
Mr. Kartik Chopra, I'm going to give you time. Please allow Mr. Reddy to speak.
Please wait. Be patient. Chandrababu Naidu follows Hindu Dharma, but he won't believe in religion or devotee sentiments or nothing else. He means only for politics. He stay for politics. He like to do business. In every crisis, he will take an opportunity. Because Chandrababu Naidu is having a very big diary in name of heritage. He want to destroy Hindu devotee sentiments, and he want to supply the ghee contract to heritage in backdoor. This is the main intention to Chandrababu Naidu. He want to demolish all sentiments of Hindus, and he is destroying the devotee sentiments of Tirumala Lord Sri Venkateswara Swami.
But Ravi Reddy, are you not acknowledging the report, the test report, which has clearly established that there is lard, highest in the quantity, there is beef tallow, there is fish oil. Are you acknowledging or not that there has been a lapse when it comes to maintaining quality standards, henceforth subsequently leading to the insult to Hindu Astha?
Please give me 2 more minutes. This is very much needed for all.
No, because you're making a counter-attack at the TDP, but do acknowledge what has led to the lapses
yes,
of...
Definitely I will acknowledge. In tenure of Chandrababu Naidu government from 2014 to 19, 15 times that ghee tankers has been rejected without having that standards. At the same time, and Jagan Mohan Reddy tenure of 2019 to 24, we have rejected 18 tankers which the standards has not been followed. Every dairy will give a certificate of NABL, National Accreditation Bureau of Labs. So, Board of Labs. So, that certificate will be provided, and TTD will thrice, they check the quality and standard of the ghee, then only that will be in use. And here actually what happened, that reports has been taken on July 17th, and the reports came, samples collected on July 17th, and reports came on July 23 of 2024. And the government belongs to Chandrababu Naidu.
Right. So that's the question I'm actually going to be taking, and that is the question that I'm going to be taking from K. Pattabhiram. If you let me do my job, Mr. Reddy, let me take that question. I'm posing that question. K. Pattabhiram, the question everybody is asking today, that when the report was out on the 23rd of July, what were you doing in the last 2 months? What was happening to Hindu Astha and the Astha of all those devotees who continued to visit and consume or partake in all those laddus for these 2 months?
Akanksha, good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
I can. Please go ahead.
See, Jagan Reddy is a known anti-Hindu. He has this Hindu phobia. The reason why I am saying this is, right from the moment he became chief minister in 2019, there have been continuous attacks on temples. Number of temples across the state have been vandalized. Lord Sri Ram's idol has been vandalized. Chariots in temples were burned. So he has a known track record of being anti-Hindu. And see where it had ended. Ultimately, it reached TTD. He had stooped down to such a level that they have used ghee which has animal fat. Mr. Karthik Chopra, please speak when you have the opportunity.
Right.
Akanksha, ask him to please
Mr.
wait.
Chopra, please wait for your turn. I'll
Ask
come
him
to
to wait.
you. I'll come to you.
Please wait.
1 lakh laddus
Arey, aap rukiye.
Yes,
What is
Mr.
this
Chopra, we
Akanksha?
will be
There should some
discussing
discipline.
those laddus in just a bit, which were served at the Ram Janmabhoomi
There should be
as
some
well.
discipline.
Please.
What was in those laddus?
Let me
After
finish.
5 years,
That is exactly the question that Patabi Ram is also wishing to
Akanksha,
ask.
let me
Please
finish.
let him make his point, Mr. Chopra. Patabi, please go ahead.
This is not politics, madam. This has nothing to do
Yeah.
with politics.
So I'm coming to the question. Arey, aap suniye. Kya hua? Say, Akanksha, this cannot be like
No,
this. This
no,
cannot
you
go
please
on like
go
this.
ahead, make
there
your
should
point.
Be some discipline.
Yes, I'm afraid, Mr. Chopra,
Yeah.
I'll have to
See,
mute you if you do not allow others to speak. Patabi Ram, please go ahead. I'm sure you can make your point now and nobody's
Yeah,
speaking. again.
Akanksha. Yeah. Speaking about this report, this clearly indicates that the ghee which was bought from AR Foods, who had selected this company? My friend Mr. Ravichandra Reddy is talking about dates. I will also give you a few dates. The tender for this ghee supply was called for on March 12th when Jagan Reddy was the chief minister. The tender was finalized on May 5th, May 8th when Jagan Reddy was the chief minister. The purchase order to AR Foods was given on 15th May when Jagan Reddy was the chief minister. So all the while, it was Jagan Reddy's YSRCP government which was behind this. They
All
are the
right,
ones who
Patabi
selected
Ram,
AR Foods.
Patabi
They are the
Ram,
one who
many
gave-
want
who
to
gave the
also
purchase order
ask
for
that in
320
June
rupees.
there was a regime change and this could also be part of a vendetta politics. Why not conduct a second test considering we've already seen that there is a chance of false testing? We've all, the report itself mentions all those factors which could lead to a false result. Henceforth, why not go for a second sample testing? Because I'm sure the opposition could also accuse you of a vendetta and that there could have been tampering of the samples
Let me also bring. Akanksha, yeah, you raised a very valid question. It is not one sample that was sent to NDDB. 4 samples have been sent to NDDB. It is not one sample. You have asked me a very good question. So it is 4 samples that we have sent, and all the 4 samples, the report came out saying that there are animal fat. As soon as we got the report, we have immediately blacklisted AR Foods, the company which was handpicked by YSRCP government.
All right, so Ravi Chandra Reddy, that actually shoots down the claim that was being made by Jagan Reddy today during the press conference about false positive results and all those factors that have been enlisted. So that answers all those concerns that have been raised by the YSRCP today during that press conference. Let me quickly now bring in Karthik Chopra. Karthik Chopra, I'm sure you'd want to say that Hindu Astha also has been heard of everybody who was attending the Ram Mandir inauguration in January this year, ever since.
Say
Right.
a few things simply. First
Please
of
go
all,
ahead.
whatever has been done, please do not, we would request all political parties to not put a political color to this. Had such a sacrilege occurred in any other facility of a minority community, we all know what the results. We have been through Sartan Se Juda and all that nonsense in this country before. Number one. Number two, our rights as Hindus under Article 25 and 26 have been violated completely. Number three, 1 lakh laddus was sent in, supposedly were received in good faith by our temple trust in Ayodhya for distribution as prasad to all the guests who attended the opening ceremony on the 22nd of January. What was in those laddus? Who were the suppliers of the raw materials? We want a complete probe. After 550 years of fighting, the Nirmohi Akhada is today in that temple trust in Ayodhya. The holy temple of Lord Sri Ram is there. The temple, the idol was consecrated on that holy day. This prasad was there, was distributed to every devotee. What have your people, your suppliers done to us over there? We don't care what you have done in Tirupati. We care about what you have done to us in Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. We fought for 500 years. Every akhada has fought and sacrificed.
I think that merits an answer from both Ravichandra
We want a
Reddy
CBI
and
inquiry.
Patabi Ram as well. Ravichandra,
Our honorable,
right, Patabi,
let me answer.
right,
Let
sure,
me
go
comment
ahead.
it, please.
Let
our
me-
honorable, our honorable.
let me start with the Ram Mandir inauguration time. That is when the YSRCP was in power, and that's why I'd like to bring in Ravichandra Reddy before I go across to you, Patabi. Yes, Ravi.
The issue is, whichever the tanker fail the quality standards, that will be rejected, madam. That is the thing actually happened even this in regime also. Every tanker will be rejected if such standards are not there. But this gentleman, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, intentionally made a crime, made a big crime at the cost of Lord Venkateswara.
You politicians are
He is playing
representatives of the
politics.
people.
He is playing
You
politics.
represent our
Ugly
faith.
politics.
You
Please
are
wait.
not
Please
our,
wait.
you are not
Let
our
my
masters.
point go.
You are not
Let
our
my point
masters.
go, man. Let
You are
my
not our Lord
point
and
go,
masters.
please.
You
What is
represent
this,
our people.
Akanksha?
Our faith
What
is
is the
ours.
use? When I
Our
am
faith is
talking,
our
he
personal
is speaking
property.
continuously. What will
You
be the
had
use?
Mr. Chopra, I'm
give us
afraid I'll have
He
to,
is
evidence.
Mr.
when
Chopra,
I am
please
speaking,
maintain
what is the
the
purpose?
decorum on
This
this
is
debate.
We want
This is
proof.
not
All
the
right,
way
let
to
me
go.
also
Honorable
listen
Minister
to
of
what
Welfare,
Patabi has to say. Karthik
appendix
Chopra,
AI.
you raised a very valid point. Let them also explain.
My point is not completed, please. Give me a minute. And this is very important issue. This is crores of devotees issue. All Hindus issue, entire world is watching it.
He is
Watching
not
CNN News
replying to
18
the
now.
question.
And I say clearly, categorically, Chandrababu Naidu want to make business for his heritage.
All right, you've already made that point umpty number of times. Let me also listen into what Patabi has to say. Karthik, you have made your point. Please
Karthik,
allow
Karthik,
Patabi.
please.
You know, the debate is not going to
Yeah.
head anywhere. If you will
Akansha.
keep on with your accusations, we've listened to your point. Let others speak as well.
Yeah, Akanksha, Karthik had raised a very valid point. So the point which he had raised is that 1 lakh Laddoos were sent to Ayodhya also when the Ram Janmabhoomi, Lord Sri Ram's temple was inaugurated.
Right.
So what about those Laddoos is the question. We agree with you, Karthik, that a deeper probe is required to the previous consignments, and all other things also need to be investigated. So today, the Honorable Minister JP Nadda ji also had reacted. There will be a bigger probe with the central government agencies also, because this is an issue which is related to crores of the sentiments of crores of Hindus. So I completely agree with you, Karthik. This will not end here. We will go further into this, and whoever is behind this will be behind bars. Karthik, underline my word. People will be behind bars. Yes.
We are going to
How dare?
All right. Mr. Pulla Reddy, I want to bring you in. You know, listening to all these voices right now, Mr. Pulla Rao, I want to bring you in. Going by all the voices that you can hear right now, there's a lot of discontent within the Hindu community which is brewing. And the sentiment that is now becoming is that why is our Astha always hurt? Why are Hindus being taken for granted, especially when it comes to opposition-ruled states? If you heard the examples I had quoted in my opening read, whether it is West Bengal or what we've seen happen in Sabrimala as well, and during West Bengal Muharram time also, Durga Puja processions are not being allowed. We are seeing in Karnataka what's happening to the Ganesh Puja processions. And, you know, this is only snowballing further. What should be putting to rest all the kind of discontent that we are seeing brew within the Hindu community at the moment?
Just a few minutes ago, I saw a TV interview of Pawan Kalyan, the Deputy Chief Minister. He has said this temple should be taken away from the hands of the government, like all Hindu temples. I welcome that suggestion. And, you know, I know both the gentlemen there, they have known to me for a long time. I don't want to cut into their views and all that out of courtesy. The whole point is, this is such a great institution, such a terrific place. It has now come into the hands of politicians, not today, not in the last 5 years, the last 30, 40 years. There was once a chairman of Tirupati who was the biggest liquor distributor in South India. The biggest liquor distributor. Before him, there was a contractor. You know, this is the kind of people who became chairman. I don't blame
No,
the
but then,
present
you know,
generation.
but going by that, then you look at what's happening in Tamil Nadu. There's Stalin's already been charged and accused of misusing the temple trust funds. Isn't that...
This is what, this is what happens here. All the money collected from Tirupati, part of it goes to the revenue account. My two friends will tell you. They spend it as if it's another government department. And therefore, as a good Hindu, I'm not wanting to politicize and blame game. I'll be so happy if Mr. Chandrababu
No,
Naidu
let
says,
me actually
okay,
put this into perspective. Karthik Chopra, what the Deputy CM Pavan Kalyan is saying, that he's calling for a Sanatan Dharma Protection Board. Is it time that there should be a Sanatan Dharma Protection Board, as is also being demanded by the Deputy CM of Andhra?
Ma'am, we 100% agree with that. Temples need to be out of government control. How do we know that out of the donations that are given to all our temples, how much of that goes to the state revenue account for payment of salaries to Maulanas and Maulvis? We have no account of that. I give money as donation to my God for services to be conducted for the betterment of the people. Ramji Dinanath hai, Deen Dayal hai, Deen Bandhu hai. हम दीनों के लिए चाहते हैं कि जो हम देते हैं वहां उनको लगे. हम नहीं चाहते कि ये किसी के प्राइवेट अकाउंट में जाए, किसी में जेब में जाए. Why should our faith, our Hindu faith be governed by government and government laws when the church is free to run on its own? The Islamic institutions are free to run on their own. Today there's a little bit of talk of amendment of the Waqf Act and there is an uproar. Zakir Naik shouts from overseas that the Waqf Act in India will not be allowed to be changed. He is a terrorist who has run away from this country, who is making these statements. How dare these people say things like this? I don't care would not like to comment on the working of other religions, but here this has hurt us completely. कौन करेगा हमारा शुद्धिकरण? अगर हमने वो लड्डू खाए हैं 22 जनवरी को, हमारा कौन शुद्धिकरण करेगा? अगर मेरे को
it comes to शुद्धिकरण, कौन करेगा हिंदुओं का शुद्धिकरण? अब खा लिए लड्डू.
The BJP is very silent on this issue. In states like Tamil Nadu, they say, give us the temples. States like Andhra, they keep quiet. You know, Uttarakhand, I tell my friend Chopra, Karthik Chopra, they took over all the temples.
No, the BJP has not been silent. Let me tell you that, Mr. Pulla Rao, they've been very vocal about this entire issue. They've been pushing for a more serious probe. Mr. JP Nadda has already assured of a probe, and perhaps they will look into this entire matter. My question, in fact, to you, Mr. Pulla Rao, is that the same Congress party which is questioning the central agencies, today we have a YS Sharmila asking for a CBI probe. Wow, that's actually a very pleasant surprise. Why not go ahead with YSRCP's own demand of going ahead with a judicial probe from the High Court? Now, why is the Congress party asking for a CBI probe?
No, there's nothing wrong in that, because after all, she can't go and inquire. There is credibility to the CBI, or at least a go-to answer. The answer may not be finally.
All right, I'm glad that the CBI for once is being given credibility by the Congress party.
Yes, that's when it suits them, they ask for that. When that's all political parties, let's not get there. But one small point, you should ask the BJP why they have a policy, one policy for Tamil Nadu, one policy for Telangana, one policy for Andhra. They're in the government, they can very well do
So
this.
that is why perhaps Pavan Kalyan, the idea...
Only one sentence to my friend Patavi, you know, Chandrababu Naidu will do a great service and will be a historic figure if he takes the step and says, now let's have a different management, out of political control. Let's give to the Hindus, whoever goes there. That would be a great step. That would be a positive outcome. And blame game can go on, but I don't support blame game.
I do support Pavan Kalyan's demand then, because if he's talking about bringing in a Sanatan Dharma Protection Board, perhaps it is time that we have one uniform board for the entire country and all the temples. But Ravi Reddy, and of course Patabi as well, the question that I want to ask is based on what the TTD has to say. They're saying that all of this is a result because there is no in-house testing lab. We had to send those samples to the Gujarat-based lab, which is one that follows those international standards, because the in-house lab doesn't have any testing for adulteration. Why couldn't your government ensure those quality standards when you were in power?
Akanksha, one thing I want to specify, particularly one point I want to specify. On July 23rd, the reports which came in, as the tanker has been utilized or not. This is the highlight point. It has been rejected, I think so. It will be like that only because the sentiments of Hindus has been destroyed by Chandrababu Naidu intentionally. He is
Ravi
provoking.
Reddy, my question is, why did you not have, when TTB was being handled by Jagan Mohan Reddy's uncle, why didn't you have a proper in-house lab to do a testing? Why should samples be sent to Gujarat?
Whoever they may be, the
Let-
government
Let
will take
Patabi, let him answer.
Government will
Kartik
take a
Chopra,
decision accordingly.
Akansha,
Ravi Reddy, please go ahead.
okay.
So
No, Ravi.
one thing is particularly, if YV Subbareddy is Jagan Mohan Reddy's uncle, as he is not having any right to take as TTD chairman, he do daily go puja in the morning when he wakes up, and he provided a complete cow dairy for Balaji Trust only to make all sevas with that cow milk, pure cow milk, and so many reforms has been brought up by our YSRCP regime. If anybody is somebody's relative, it is an objectionable point to
All
get
right,
opposed
Patabi,
by government.
please go ahead, make your
Who
point
said
now.
that?
Patabi.
Yeah, Akansha, the question which you have asked is why not TTD have its own lab to test for adulteration? And the YSRCP government had never gone into that issue. And today, Mr. Naidu had taken swift action, and today, NDDB, the laboratory which had given its report itself, is setting up a lab in Tirumala with a budget of 75 lakhs. So very soon we are going to have a NDDB certified lab, the most advanced laboratory in Tirumala, so that these kind of things do not happen again, so that these companies don't take TTD for a ride.
Ravi Chandra Reddy, that
as
is
you
exactly
rightly-
the question that I was asking you. Your government was in power. Why couldn't you do that? And I said that there's greater
Yes.
onus on the
Yes.
YSRCP government because
TTD.
of the charges of being anti-Hindu. You have to walk.
One thing, madam, you just now
You
said
have to walk
the difference
extra
and
mile.
contra.
You have to walk the extra mile. You will have to walk the extra mile. Just as is expected out of the Narendra Modi government to provide protection to the minorities.
Akanksha, please 1 minute. The contrary statements you please observe. TTD is an independent body, Hindu devotees body. You say one side that Sanatan Dharma board should be welcomed. Yes, it may be. And TTD is completely run by Hindu devotees. And the TTD certified lab is there. Now NDDB board will come. Okay. Even after that, TTD will again check. So many sacred sevas will be done by TTD board only.
Ravi Reddy, the
Because
question
on the-
is that
on
the
the-
TTD was being
that quality
headed
they
by
never compromise. Quality
Jagan
they
Mohan
never
Reddy's
compromise.
uncle.
Dirty
And
politics
that
they
is
never
why,
do.
Yes.
as somebody who hails from a different community, it was incumbent on him to ensure, doubly ensure that the Laddus are pure.
Lord Venkateswara will punish him. Lord Venkateswara will punish Mr. Naidu.
Already he had
All
given his
right.
punishment. Already the punishment was given, and there will be more. That is the reason why you have reduced the level.
Should be stopped.
Patabi, I'm going to give. I have a question for you, Patabi. You know, very conveniently, it's being raised as a question that KMF was not given the contract. But today itself, Jagan Mohan Reddy has passed on the buck to your government, saying that what did you do with the KMF when you were in power during the year 2015 to 2018? Why wasn't KMF involved then?
See, Akanksha, when you talk about KMF and Nandini Ghee, today after these reports came out, KMF was roped in again, and today KMF is supplying pure cow ghee to TTD at the rate of 478 rupees per kg, 478. Whereas Jagan Reddy's government colluded with this AR Foods for 319 rupees, substandard ghee with animal fat at 319. So today I want to reassure all the pilgrims through this debate. I want to reassure the crores of Hindus who visit Tirumala, things are restored, things are in place. Now you can have the sacred prasadam without any doubt. Today, Nandini is back. Pure ghee is being utilized.
All right, I'm
Labs are
running
being
short
set
of
up.
time. Ravi Chandra Reddy, that also, answers or rather places the ball in your court. Because there are already allegations that funds were misused from.
Akanksha, this is Ghee contract subject. This is Ghee contract subject for Nandini Sek. There is a quid pro quo in between Chandrababu Naidu's Heritage Dairy and KMS Nandini
Those are
Dairy.
massive charges if they are saying that to the tune of 10,000 crore rupees funds have been in fact misappropriated.
He doesn't have an
Kartik
answer to
Chopra,
anything.
quickly closing thoughts. Kartik Chopra. Kartik Chopra. Now please allow Kartik to speak just as he allowed you.
Ma'am, through your channel, our 100-year-old Sarpanch Mahant Raja Ram Chandracharya, who lives in Dakor, Gujarat, has a humble request to the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, who carried out the Pran Pratishtha Puja at Ayodhya on January 22nd, to kindly and urgently institute a CBI inquiry into the laddus that were supplied from TTD to that function on 22nd January, to investigate what the raw materials were, who the suppliers were, and come out with the truth. What Tirupati Trust does, we are not concerned about. But we are definitely hurt and upset if it is proved that those laddus that came to Ayodhya, which we received in good faith, were adulterated. That's all I have to say.
All right, Mr. Pulla Rao, I'd like your closing thoughts. How does one, in fact, ensure that religious sentiment is protected?
No, this is a good opportunity for reform, not just, I respect what Mr. Kartik says on CBI inquiry, they will do it. It's a good opportunity for reform. Hindus all over the country have been demanding reform, a better second look at how they manage their affairs. And I do hope that all the political parties and others, I know you won't agree, nobody agrees, but let bygones be bygones. Let's go forward. Otherwise, there's a lot of muck there which will come out. There's a lot of muck.
Thank you for putting it so simply into perspective. Let bygones be bygones. Time to look forward and move forward and perhaps not repeat the mistakes for sure. Only fools repeat those mistakes, remember.